that. Thanks for joining in for another interesting session this morning. The meeting is about to start, and the ground rules are still remain the same. We're expected to mute our mic. We are not speaking to avoid any distractions from your background. Also, I would like to crave for our indulgence to put on our videos. That will give the speaker a sense of okay, somebody is listening to him or her. So to kickstart, we'll take the Toastmaster promise. I'll be sharing my screen in a jiffy. Let me know when you can see my screen. Okay. Can you all see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So we can take the Toastmaster promise in a count of 2. 1, 2. As a member of Toastmaster International and my club, I promise to attend club meetings regularly, to prepare all of my projects to the best of my ability, basing them on the Toastmaster educational program, to prepare for and fulfill meeting assignments, to provide fellow members with helpful constructive evaluations, to help the club maintain positive, friendly environment when necessary for all members to learn and grow, to help my club as an officer when called upon to do so, to treat my fellow club members and our guests with respect and courtesy, to bring guests to club meetings so that they can see the benefit Toastmaster membership offers, to adhere to the guidelines and rules of all Toastmaster education programs,
to act
between Toastmaster
core value of integrity, respect, service, and excellence during the conduct of Toastmasters activities.
Thank you very much. Without further ado, I'd like to hand over the virtual lesson to the president, in the person of Toastmaster Ruti Momotaro Benson. Toastmaster Ruti Momotaro Benson joined Toastmaster in the year 2017. He's an IT professional who loves traveling, adventure, and extreme sports. He's currently the president of Lighthouse Toastmaster. Toastmaster Rutimi, over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ayonshiji Baby, for that warm introduction. On that note, I'd like to welcome you all once again to another Toastmasters meeting. As usual, we are gathered to learn how to improve on our communication skills, learn how to improve on our public speaking skills, and to develop the right leadership skills. I think it's important to always reiterate why we are gathered here. Because like they say, when the purpose of the thing is not known, abuse is inevitable. And to do why we are gathered. On that note, I'd like to introduce today's meeting. And the theme for today's meeting is living on the edge. What does it mean to live on the edge? I will start with a quote by Jim Whittaker. And he said, if you're not living a life on the edge, you are taking too much space. You learn the most when you're out of your comfort zone. The key thing here is you need to learn to take risk. It's very important. If you base your life on security or not taking risk, you will enjoy life. Your life is just going to be quite boring and dry. Do something that you've never done before. Just try as much as possible to take risk. Life will never happen to you if you build a safety net around you. There are no guarantees in life. I remember when I finished NYSC and I got a job in a bank then. I know banks will pay very well, but I wanted to do IT. But the job I got then was a marketing job. I quit after 3 months. People are like, do you know what you're doing? How can you quit a bank job, a juicy job? I said, this one is not my calling at all. Let me just go. So let me go and do what I think I like. So I quit the job. But at the same time, it's usually easier and faster. It's better to take risk when you're very young. When you're young, you can take risk because you have a lot of time to correct yourself. But when you're old, you start reducing your risk appetite reduces. So my point here is You need to live your life. Take risk, leave your comfort zone. That thing you think is a comfort zone, you need to leave it and do something that will scare you. And I think that also informs the kind of person I am. For instance, I like extreme sport. I like those kind of things that make your blood pump, that makes your heart beat. If I go to an amusement park, for instance, if I see all those, I look for the most dangerous one. That is what amuses me. So that's me, for instance. But I think we need to move right straight into today's meeting. And today's meeting, like every Toastmasters meeting, will be anchored by a Toastmaster of the day. And what the Toastmaster of the day does is to steer the ship, is the MC of the meeting. The Toastmaster of the day is like your MC. When you go to a party or an event, what you would see is the MC will tell you, okay, the musicians stay on this side, you stay on that. He coordinates everything. That is the role of the Toastmaster. And the Toastmaster of the day is no other person than, this actually looks very odd, because I'm still your Toastmaster for today. So right now, I have removed the head of the president of of Lighthouse. I'm wearing the hat of the Toastmaster of today. And I would like to explain what the role entails, how the meeting flows. So a Toastmasters meeting is divided into 3 segments. The first segment is what we call the table topic segment, where members and guests are enjoyed to come and deliver speeches off the cuff. You are not prepared. They just call you, give you a topic, speak on it for 2 minutes. Trust me, it's an interesting session. After that, we now move on to the segments where that is called prepared speeches. You have speakers that have gone home to rehearse and prepare speeches, and they've come to deliver it in the meeting. And the last segment is what we call the general evaluation. That will be anchored by a team of people that will come over here to evaluate the meeting. And without wasting too much of our time today, I would like to call on the first person, who is no other person than, hold on 1 second, please, the general evaluator for today. And you see, I like Toastmasters for something. It helps you to improve on your communication skills. When I was joining Toastmasters, I would say evaluator. He said, no, it's not evaluator, it's evaluator. So I would like to call on the general evaluator for today. And the general evaluator for today is Toastmaster Kachi. I would like to read her profile before. Toastmaster Kachi joined Toastmasters in the year 2020. So there's something. Those of you that joined Toastmasters in year 2020, we can never forget that year. It's very simple. Just say the COVID year. We all can relate easily. So Toastmaster Kachi joined Toastmaster in the year 2020. She's a brand strategist, and her hobbies include baking, acting, and lastly, talking. I'm curious when a hobby is talking, but I'll leave her to tell us what her role entails. So Toastmaster Kachi, are you there?
Yes, I am. Thank you very much, Toastmaster Rotimi. I really loved the way you came in today. Your story about starting up your job in the banking industry, I shared the same experience. You stayed for 3 months. I actually stayed for 1 hour. Yes, I left after 1 hour. I went back to them and was, give me back all my documents. I'm not interested. Living life on the edge is really, I'd say, a situation where we are all in right now, especially in the environment we find ourselves. But a positive way to look at it is to consider more the obstacles that we have overcome. It makes us thicker, and it gives us a better confidence for the risk that life throws at us. Of course, the comfort zone is not a place to dwell in for a long time because it makes you lose out on your purpose. So we enjoin everybody to approach risk with a positive mindset. It brings out the best in us. So today I'm the general evaluator of today's engagement. And with me, I have a team of 3 armor bearers. who will stand and see that this program or today's program goes on well. First of all, I would like to introduce the grammarian for today, and he is no other than Team Toastmaster Korede. Toastmaster Korede joined Toastmasters in 2020. Woohoo! We are the team COVID. I guess COVID has a positive side. It kept us all in the house and we had to look for better things to do with ourselves. Team Korede is, sorry, I'm in the car and this is vibrating. Okay, he's a banking professional who loves dancing. Wow, I guess the dance steps comes when you hit your target. So ladies and gentlemen, Toastmasters and guests, join me as I invite Toastmaster Korede to tell us what his role entails for today. Toastmaster Korede, please, you can take over.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Toastmaster. I'm a lady, as you can see, so maybe everybody was expecting a male, so but that's not a problem. I'm still taking on the role of the grammarian. So fellow Toastmasters, good morning, and I hope you're all doing good today. Today I will be your grammarian, and what it means is that my responsibility today is to pay attention to what all the speakers say. I listen to their language usage, and I take note of improper language. I also try to understand some certain quotes or thoughts and sayings of the thoughts of the Toastmasters. Also, I would also have the unique responsibility today of introducing the word of the day. And today, the word of today is adroit. What does that mean? It means able, adept, or skilled. And the example you have there is that an adroit sculptor can turn a lump of clay into an object of great beauty. And I would encourage all us Toastmasters that speak today to make sure they use the word during their conversations and discussions. At the end of the day, I'll be giving a summary of those who use the word very well, and I look forward to hearing you all speak. Thank you.
Thank you very much, TM Korede. Now to answer your question, TM wrote to me, yes, the talking aspect. From little people always have this thing about me that Kachi talks so much. And like I said about my first speech on how I got into Toastmasters, I was in a situation where I have to introduce people on a summit and I was tongue-tied. After that, I joined Toastmasters. I know I haven't really been a constant face on the Toastmasters platform, but I'll tell you the truth, Toastmasters has really changed who I am. And today people actually invite me to host their programs online. So yes, I am a talker. Next person to call from my team is TM Timothy. He'll be playing the role of the listening evaluator and the counter. TM Timothy joined Toastmasters in September 2020, and he is a real estate consultant. His hobbies include reading, surfing the internet, skating, singing, listening to music, cooking, and being creative. Actually, I've not had breakfast. Timothy, I hope your speech, you spice up my appetite this morning. So, ladies and gentlemen, please make welcome TM Timothy as he tells us what his role entails. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, General Evaluator, for the warm introduction. And good morning, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Being a good listener is just as important as being a good speaker. Like Stephen R. Covey said in his book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Most people do not listen with the intent to understand. They listen with the intent to reply. As the listening evaluator, my role is to test your listening skills and also how attentive you are to speeches. By the end of the meeting, I will be giving my report by asking questions on the speeches we have all heard today. And also, I would implore all of us to listen attentively to our wonderful speakers. My second role is the accountant. So I'll be counting the numbers of hours, made by speakers. So I'll also look out for repeated words and long pauses. So when called upon by the general evaluator, I'll give my report. And we'll also have a winner for the person that makes the most hours. Over to you, general evaluator. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Timothy. The next person I'll be calling on is the timekeeper. He is no other than distinguished Toastmasters Abubakar. He is the secretary of Lighthouse Prestige Toastmasters Club, and he is a project manager. When he is not eating or sleeping, he does some reading. And today he's with us. He's not sleeping, he's not eating, he's not reading. He is here with us to keep track of our speeches in the area of timekeeping. And I know he is adroit in this activity. So ladies and gentlemen, please can you make welcome TM Abubakar as he tells us what his role entails.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Madam General Evaluator. Whenever I'm not eating or sleeping, Toastmasters is the only thing that I do. So I would like to welcome everybody, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Today I'll be playing the role of the timer. So the timer basically is just somebody who makes sure everybody sticks to time. And the way I'll be doing that is, you see, we have 3 segments today for this meeting. We have the table topics, which usually lasts between 1 to 2 minutes. So at the first minute, I will share the green card like this. At 1 minute, 30 seconds, I will share the yellow card. And at the second minute, I'll share the red card. So once you see the red card, it means you have just 30 seconds to round up, else you will be disqualified for voting. Likewise, for evaluation, usually lasts between 2 to 3 minutes. So at the second minute, I share the green card. At 2 minutes, 30 seconds, I share the yellow card. Then at 3 minutes, I share the red card. Then finally, for the prepared speeches, we have all our speeches today are between 5 to 7 minutes, except for Toastmaster Juliet's speech, which is 15 to 20 minutes. So at the 5th minute, I'll share the green card. At the 6th minute, I'll share the yellow card. And at the 7th minute, I'll share the red card. For Toastmaster Juliet, I'll share the green card at the 15th minute. Then at the 18th minute, I'll share the yellow card. At the 20th and final minute, I'll share the red card. At the end of the meeting, I'll be called upon by our adroit general evaluator to give a report of how well we did with time. The general evaluator.
Thank you very much for that. I think we have to take note of what he said. When he's not eating or sleeping or reading, we have to include that he is on the platform doing what he knows how to do best, toasting his Toastmaster activities. So thank you, everybody. I've introduced my team for today, and I wish all the speakers a wonderful experience. Thank you, and Mr. Toastmasters, I hand over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Kachi, our general evaluator, and your team for telling us what your different roles entail. And Toastmaster Korede, I like the fact that you said that we all thought you were a male. I'm sure you are used to that when they hear your name. And the way you explained it is quite obvious. Now let's move on swiftly to one of the most dreaded segments in Toastmasters meeting, and that is the table topic segment. I'd like to implore people to volunteer. I'll tell you a story about a mentee of mine. I had been trying to get her to give her speeches. She refused. Okay, try table topics. She refused. So what I did was I would say corny. So I planned with the with the table topics master of the day that day. And I told him that, please ensure you call that person. And you know what happened? The table topics master called the person. But guess what happened? She eventually won the table topic segment for that particular meeting. So at times, you just get scared. The only way you can douse that spirit of fear in public speaking is by participating. So you need to come out, participate, play roles. This is where you can fumble and nobody will judge you. So I'd like to implore you all, volunteer for table topic segment. Learn how to speak up the call. And on that note, I'd like to introduce the person that will be anchoring this segment. And that is no other person than Toastmaster. Let me read his profile for you first of all. He joined Toastmaster in the year 2018 and has won Best Table Topic Speech. He's a lawyer and he enjoys reading, writing, and meditation. I don't know how you can be a lawyer and you not enjoy reading. Even if you don't enjoy reading, by your profession, you have to read. So our table topics master for today is Toastmaster Lawrence Nolly. Toastmaster Lawrence, please, over to you.
Thank you so much, TM Benson, for that adroit introduction. Thank you. Now, fellow Toastmasters and guests, good morning. And I'm happy to be in our midst this morning. I'm playing this role for the first time ever since joining Toastmaster. So, table topic session is a session where members, can you hear me?
Yes,
loud and clear.
Okay, thank you. So, table topic session is a session within the Toastmasters meeting where members and visitors and guests speak impromptu, make speech without having the time to prepare for such speech. The essence of the session is to challenge participants to develop their impromptu communication skills and to effectively hone their ability to speak on their feet. Participating in this session will definitely help you to master the 4 communication skills, which are listening, thinking, organizing, ability to organize your speech, and then speech delivery. So I'm encouraging every one of us. This is not the most dreadful session of our meeting. It's not. Nobody is a failure in this session. I'm encouraging every one of us to volunteer ourselves to be involved in this. Now, just to recap what the timekeeper said, this segment is the time allotted for each speaker is just 2 minutes to speak, and you have to speak at least for 1 minute for your speech to count for purposes of voting. And then you must also make sure that your speech does not exceed 2 minutes 30 seconds. Once that speech of yours exceeds 2 minutes 30 seconds, that speech will be disqualified. So, yes, I have the powers to elect or appoint who will be part of this, but I want to call on any of us who is willing to volunteer himself or herself.
I volunteer.
I volunteer. Okay. Okay. Do we have other volunteers before?
Yes, I volunteer as well. TM Timothy.
I need TM Timothy. Okay, I need a guest.
All right.
Any guest volunteering?
I
Okay, let me go. All right.
Agogo, yes.
Okay, Agogo. Okay, before I go to Agogo, I would like to know the first volunteer. I have 4 questions here. You are expected to choose out of these 4 questions.
Question 1, please.
Question 1.
Yes, please.
What is your best color, and why is that color your best color? Over to you, TM.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Lawrence. You were quite adroit in asking that question. What is my best question, and why, or what is my best color rather, and why is that color my best color? I remember the first time I was actually asked that question. I was in secondary school, and my response was, I have no best color. For my wife, her best color is blue, and you often see her wearing blue jeans when she's relaxed. For my kids, I'm guessing they have best colors. My son is 4, my daughter is 2, but they can't tell us now. They mumble things like, color. I have no clue what that is, but we'll find out. For me, I enjoy a myriad of colors. I'm quite adroit when it comes to drawing. I love art. So when you mention pink, I love pink because I think there's a place for pink. Even when I wear pink, I look good. I've been told several times, so you can't tell me otherwise. I love blue, which is my wife's favorite color, and I wear blue from time to time. I love red, as you can see red right here. Black is a color that absorbs all colors. White reflects all colors. In general, colors are beautiful. You see them in food that I love. If you want to be my friend, please give me food. If there's any cook in the house, I am volunteer number 1 to test your dishes. And when you see the green peas, the yellow meal, the chicken, either is brown, not so brown, all the colors, I enjoy them and I'll put them in my system. Colors are beautiful. In general, the way God has made this world is just amazing. Take the time to enjoy colors. Just sit out. Right now, I'm looking out my window. I see green, I see brown, I see so many colors, and I am adroit at observing them. Dear Toastmaster Lawrence, as I said, you adroitly asked that question. I don't have a favorite color because I love all colors, and I'm looking forward to maybe one day saying this stops it for now. Over to you, the Table Topics Master.
Thank you so much, TM John. Along here, I don't have a favorite color because I love all colors. That's great. So I'm going to call on our guest. Guest, you have question 2, 3, and 4. Could you kindly choose the
Okay,
one you would like
question
to?
2.
Question 2. Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you. So TM, sorry, I'm sorry. Go to Mama. Go to Mama. Okay. I'm so sorry for that interruption. That is what happens when you have toddlers. They are a bunch of fellows that you learn so much more. So TM guess question 2 says, what are the things you value and cherish most in a relationship? What are the things you value and cherish most in a relationship? Guess
Thank you so much, Toastmaster. Okay, so what are the things, Toastmaster Lawrence, so what are the things I value more in a relationship? I mean, one thing I value more in a relationship is peace. What I do understand is that with peace, life is seamless. With peace, life is joyous. And you being in a relationship, be it your sister, be it your brother, be it your friend, you being in a relationship where peace abide is the most amazing thing you can ever have. I mean, growing up still with my sister, she was more of a warrior and she was always fighting. We're always involved in different quarrels. And at some point, I mean, I had to leave the room for her, even at my little age. And now this has resonated with me, even in my present relationship, right? I have been able to look for peace because I know that my mental health is key. I know that, I mean, peace is one of the most phenomenal thing you should have. And with peace, you can make impacts in your world. With peace, you can do great things. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much, guests are all. Peace is one of the most phenomenal things in life, and with peace, you can achieve a lot. That's inspiring. Peace. So, do we still have time? Our timekeeper, do we still have time to take more table topics?
Unfortunately, regrettably, we don't.
Okay. So, that is the end of this session, the table topic session. Over to you, the table topics, rather the Toastmasters of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Lawrence, our adroit, for handling that session adroitly. Toastmaster John, you try to. Okay, before I talk about Toastmaster John, so thank you, Toastmaster Lawrence, for handling that session adroitly. And thank you to the adroit speakers for delivering adroit speeches. I must use that word more than Toastmaster John. Only within 2 minutes, you use adroit 4 times. How come? So meanwhile, we've come to the end of the table topic segment. Now we move on, like they say, evaluation, feedback is the breakfast of champions. So the next segment now is we are going to call on someone who is going to come on board, evaluate the speeches, the table topic speeches we've heard today. And the person I'll be calling is no other person than, okay, before I tell you her name, she joined Toastmaster in the year 2016. She's the current Vice President Education of Lighthouse Prestige Toastmasters. She works in a non-profit organization for people with disabilities and due to her passion for health and fitness. She's also a woman dance and fitness coach who teaches exotic fitness. She enjoys reading and writing. The table topic segment is going to be evaluated by Toastmaster Queen Nkubri. Toastmaster Queen, the virtual light 10 is yours.
Toastmaster Queen, before you start the evaluation, let me launch the code for the.
Okay, yes, the polls. Thank you.
Please let me know when the polls are closed.
You can go ahead.
Well done, participants of the table topic section. And thank you, Toastmaster Lawrence. That was a very, it was that way. The questions were easy to work with, and so people were very willing to volunteer. So I'll start with Toastmaster John. You answered the question of your favorite color, and I liked how you started your introduction by sharing your past experience with that question and also delving into the favorite colors of your family members. And then from here, you also used humor, complimenting, accepting or sharing the compliment you get for looking good in color pink, which is, I guess that was humorous to us because people don't usually compliment themselves, I guess. But yeah, that's added humor to your speech. And I liked how you went, what I say, in 3 different directions, talking about colors, from the color wheel to food to weather. You know, you touched on color in different aspects of life. However, I feel like it could have been better structured. I know it's an unprepared speech, and so there's no time to prepare for it. But I feel like it could have been better structured, from family colors to food and weather, and then to, yeah, I think it was fashion as well. So a bit more structure would have brought your speech together. But I liked your entrance. I liked that there was a body, and of course there was a conclusion as well. But the body could have done with a bit more structure. But still, lovely speech for the table topic section. And next we had the guests Agugo speak on favorites or her most wanted feature in a relationship, and she touched on peace. I like that you just focused on one feature in a relationship rather than, I mean, because I'm sure you have more than one thing you want in a relationship, but being able to just focus on just one aspect of what you want enabled your speech to be built on just one theme. And so you're able to share your history of why that's, so you gave us the background story of how you started, of why, how you came about peace being your umpire, being your central feature. And so that gave us you storytelling, because once you start saying, when I was growing up, it engages the audience even further. And so you displayed some storytelling skills, and you're able to link that into your central feature still. And then you went on to have some sort of body supporting your feature of peace. So I know you spoke about mental health and how that also helps other aspects of your life. I feel like with your speech, you could have ended on a stronger note. Peace, your entrance was already great. Peace is something that already captures our attention because it's very peaceful, soothing. And so I feel like your conclusion should have ended on a stronger note so that we remember what you spoke about, so that it leaves us with a good impression of your speech. Still, great job. Congratulations on coming out to speak and to guest. And we hope we see more of you as a Toastmaster as well. Well done.
Thank you, Toastmaster Queen, for that adroit evaluation. I was with that word of today. So now we've come to the end. Before, let me tell you about table topic segment. I remember then when I used to be extremely scared of table topic segment. I went for 3 consecutive meetings, and for one reason or the other, they kept on calling me for table topics. So I went for the first meeting. Then it used to be physical meetings. So I sat in the meeting room at the extreme corner. I was hiding behind somebody, hoping they won't call me. And for one reason or the other, the table topics master said, "You that are in that corner, you." Said, "No problem." I came out, I spoke. The following meeting, I went for the following meeting. I sat down somewhere else in the meeting, hoping I won't be called. I was all smiling that, okay, they won't call me if I'm smiling. Say, "You that you are smiling." The third meeting that I went for, I can't remember what I did, but that third meeting I was called. I was like, okay, no, let me give it a break. Let me just give this meeting a break. So I just stopped going for a long while. But the reality is, table topic segments is an important segment. It helps you in real life. You stand there, you have to think on your feet. How do you deliver a speech that has introduction, body, and conclusion? How do you articulate your thoughts when someone asks you a question? And one thing people normally do at times is they try to repeat the question. So that gives you a little time to articulate your thoughts. And there's someone here that I know normally always volunteers. She volunteered as usual and she was not called. So we've come to the end of the first segment of the meeting, and we have something in stock today. Normally we go on a 2 minutes break, but this time around our break is going to be for about 10 minutes. And we're just trying to relax and have fun. We don't want the normal meeting where we just come for a meeting, give speeches, move to the second segment. So we decided to have some games to play during the break time. And these segments will be anchored by Toastmaster Ruth. So we are actually on a 10 minutes break. So if you want to participate, you can just hang around. Toastmaster Ruth.
She's here.
Okay, I can see you're smiling, you're ready. Okay, so we're on 10 minutes for this segment. Let's go away from the norm. Okay. Over to Toastmaster Ruth.
Good morning, dear Toastmasters and ever pleasant guests. Yes, today is going to be different. Today is going to be interesting. Today is going to be sweet and palatable. Right now, we'll be playing a little game, a game that I'm sure most of us know. It's called Tongue Twister. So I'll be putting out a particular sentence. Yeah. And the rule of the game is you are to say this. You have to say it fast. Now, what I put in the comment section is 9 nice night nurses nursing nicely. It's simple, right? It's just to say that 9 nice night nurses nursing nicely. But I'm the only one allowed to say it like that. Rest of you have to say it fast. 9 nice nice night nurses nicely nicely. 9 9 9 9 9. You have to say it 4 times. You have to say it 4 times. Now, do we have adroit speakers who can take up this challenge? Do we have? I need 2 people for this particular one. And if I don't get volunteers, I'll be forced to use my authority and power to pick on people of my choice. Okay, I'm saying 1 volunteer. I'm saying 1. Any other person? Any other person? Any other person? Any other person? Okay, very good, Juliet. Toastmaster Rotimi, you go first. Remember, the rule is you're not to break the flow. I want it smooth. I want it beautiful. You have the floor, Toastmaster Rotimi, 4 times. 1, 2, go.
Okay, okay. 9 nice nice nursing nice. 9 nice 9 nice nurses nursing nicely. 9 nice nurses nursing nicely. I can't do. I give up.
Did Toastmaster Rotimi try or not? We'll find out after Toastmaster Juliet gives an attempt. Toastmaster Juliet, please.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ruth. I will make an adroit attempt. Grammarian, it doesn't matter if I didn't use it well. Add it. I used the word of the day. Adroit. I'll go now. 9 nice night nurses nursing nicely. 9 nice night nurses nursing nicely. 9 nice night nurses nursing nicely. 9 nice night nurses nursing nicely.
Personally, none of them won. But if I am to compare both of them, if I'm to compare what Toastmaster Juliet did and what Toastmaster Rotimi did, I'll give it to Toastmaster Juliet. So let's try the second one. And guess what? The second one is a whole lot more easier. So this is it. I'm putting it out now in the chat box. The second one. How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck would chuck wood? How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck would chuck wood? How much would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck would chuck wood? How much would a woodchuck chuck? Don't bite your tongue, please. So I need 2 different volunteers for this, or 3. Come on, it's simple. Why are people not raising their hands, or do I have to use my power? Okay, Toastmaster Joy, Toastmaster Abubakar, 1 more person. 1 more person, one more. And Domsi, very good, beautiful. So Toastmaster Joy, you have the floor. How much would the woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck chuck would chuck? Please just take it off from here.
Hi everyone. Okay.
Hi.
1, 2, 3, go. How much would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? How much would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? How much would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? How much would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? Is it?
Okay. 4 times. Have you said it 4 times?
I think so. I'm not sure.
Okay. Thank you for attempting. Toastmaster Abubakar, do you think you can do better than Toastmaster Joy?
I can try.
And it's not good now.
Remember, if you can say it super fast, you have the floor. Toastmaster Abubakar.
How much would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck would chuck wood? How much would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck would chuck wood? How much would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck would chuck wood? How would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck would chuck wood?
Beautiful attempt. Very nice one. Good. Okay. Now, Don't say, are you ready? Do you think you can do better than Toastmaster Abubakar?
I was having hope until he stepped in.
No, I believe in you. You can do this. You can do this. Okay, let's have it.
Okay. How much will a wood chop if a wood chop will chop wood? How much will a wood chop if a wood chop will chop wood? How much will a wood chop if a wood chop will chop wood? How much will a wood chop if a wood chop will chop wood?
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Oh, no. Okay, now we need a winner for this segment. So I'm going to ask Toastmaster Abubakar and Toastmaster, guest Domsi, to take on the first tongue twister, because that was a bit tough, yeah. So because I need a winner between Toastmaster Abubakar and Domsi. I don't want any other person. So you both will attempt the first tongue twister. Nine nights, nothing nicely. 9 nights, nothing nicely. So you both will attempt to say it 4 times.
Please, can you go slow on it? Can you go slow on it once?
Okay, I checked in the chat box. It's in the chat box. 9 nice night nurses, nothing nicely. 9 nice night nurses, nothing nicely. 9 nice night nurses, nothing. 9. Okay, who wants to go first? Toastmaster Abubakar or Domsi?
Yes, let me go. Okay, you want to go ahead?
Go ahead.
Okay. 9 night was nothing nicely. 9 was nothing nicely. 9 nights was nothing nicely. 9 nights was nothing.
9.
Yeah, my Abubakar is like, you've won.
No.
Let me concede.
I screwed up at the last one.
No. Don't say try, please. I want you to give it a try. Come on.
9 nice night nurses, nothing nicely. 9 nice nurse. Oh boy. Okay, let me start again. Okay. Can I start again?
Yes, please.
9 nice night nurses, nicely. 9 night nurses. Please.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Let's do our last ones for today. Okay. This one is actually easier. I'm telling you, it is easier. Take it from me. So this is it. I just kept it in the comment section now. And it's easy, right? Are we all looking at it now?
Yeah.
So let me say it. Hold on, sorry. Yeah, Father Francis Frederick fried 5 fresh frozen fishes for 5 friends from France. Father Francis Frederick fried 5 fresh frozen fishes for 5 friends from France. Father Francis Frederick fried. Fry. Who wants to give it a go?
You've just added extra words to it. You've just added extra words to it.
Okay. What's the normal?
I don't think the frozen was there before. Okay.
Oh yeah, now
let me try.
Let's try and attempt.
Let me
okay.
Can TM Abubakar go first? Not that I'm running away. I want to get my glasses so I can see clearly. Yeah.
Okay.
Let me do.
Can also attempt.
Okay, let me go on.
Okay.
Father Francis Frederick fried 5 fresh frozen fishes for 5 friends from France. Father Francis Frederick fried 5 fresh frozen fishes for 5 friends from France. Father Francis Frederick fried 5 fresh frozen fishes for 5 friends from France. Father Francis, oh boy, okay, I think I did 3. Yeah, Abubakar.
Thank you so much for attending.
Beyond this,
that was good. Toastmaster Juliet wants to give it a go.
Should I?
Okay,
Toastmaster Juliet.
Okay, let Toastmaster Juliet try. Then Toastmaster Abubakar. Then we round it up with Toastmaster Abubakar.
Thank you. So I'll go. Father Francis Frederick fried 5 fresh frozen fishes for 5 friends from France. Father Francis Frederick fried 5 fresh frozen fishes for 5 friends from France. Father Francis Frederick fried 5 fresh frozen fishes for 5 friends from France. Father Francis Frederick fried 5 fresh frozen fishes for 5 friends from France.
Toastmaster Juliet, that was wonderful. Toastmaster Abubakar, do you think you can beat the ladies in this game? Do you think you would go home with our virtual crown and our virtual invincible trophy? How
Well,
did we find out?
I can try.
Okay, you have the floor.
Okay. Father Francis Frederick fed 5 fresh frozen fishes for 5 friends from France. Father Francis Frederick fed 5 fresh frozen fishes for 5 friends from France. Father Francis Frederick fed 5 frozen fishes for 5 friends from France. Father Francis Frederick fed 5 fresh frozen fishes for 5 friends from France.
We have a winner. Woo! A big congratulations. You all would agree with me that Toastmaster Abubakar nailed it. He killed it, and he performed excellently as an adroit speaker would. Thank you so much for participating in this segment, and I really appreciate everyone who took part of it. Over to you, the Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ruth, for that adroit. Is that a right use? For handling that segment adroitly. I'm not adroit at those kind of things. I can't speak. There's no way I can speak that fast when you have words that are close to each other. So now we move on to the next segment. And this segment is called the prepared speeches. So we have speakers that have gone home, gone to rehearse speeches, practice and practice and practice. They've practiced with their mentors. And they now come to the club. They want to deliver those speeches so that we all hear what they have to say and have so much fun. Meanwhile, I had so much fun in that segment. Toastmaster, I thank you very much for that. Now, the first speaker we have today is Toastmaster Ayotola Olarinwaju. Let me read her profile out before I call on the person who will be evaluating her. No, sorry, let me flip it around. I'll call the evaluator first before I call Toastmaster Ayotola. So the evaluator for Toastmaster Ayotola is Toastmaster Joy Cheyenne. Toastmaster Joy's profile Toastmaster Joy. Oh, our profile is not here. Okay. So I'll just Toastmaster Joy, please. So 1 second.
I can introduce myself if you want.
Okay, that's okay. Hold. Let me introduce your speaker first of all, before you introduce yourself. So Toastmaster Joy will be evaluating Toastmaster Ayotola, and Toastmaster Ayotola is the current Vice President membership for Lighthouse Prestige Toastmasters Club, and she participated in the 2020 International Speech Contest, where she came second in the district level. I actually watched her perform. After winning, she had to win at the club level. She moved on to the area level. She moved on to the division level. She now moved on to the district level. It was a tight competition. And the person that won the district level actually went very far up there. So she did very well. She's an experienced speaker. And she's a stylist that loves mirror talking. That thing always baffles me. But Toastmaster Joy, please read out her objective and introduce yourself. Toastmaster Joy, are you there? Your screen is frozen.
I'm here. Can you all hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay, good afternoon, Toastmasters and guests. Good afternoon, Toastmaster Ayotola. It's a delight to listen to you speak, and even more so the fact that I am your evaluator. The purpose of your speech today is for you to present a speech. Well, I'm going to read the first purpose because this is a follow-up speech. So the purpose of your first speech was to present a speech on any topic, receive feedback, and apply the feedback to a second speech. So today you are actually giving that second speech, which I am hoping you would have incorporated the feedback from the first speech into. So I wish you all the best and see you at the end of your speech. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Every night when I sleep, I die. And in the morning, I am reborn. Mahatma Gandhi. Imagine coming across that quote on a sleepless night. Good morning, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Let me give you a quick background to my sleep pattern. I'm who you'd refer to as a night owl, meaning someone who is habitually active or enjoys staying up at night. And try as I may, I could never find sleep. And this got people around me really concerned. And they'll say things like, Ayatollah, you should sleep. What is wrong with you? Are you okay? What are you thinking of? No, sleeplessness is harmful to your health. I promised to do something about it. And so one night I went to bed very early, around 12 midnight. And when I couldn't sleep, I grabbed my phone and Googled sleep. Yeah, I know, I should be sleeping. And as if the universe was teasing me, the first thing that jumped at me was that quote by Mahatma Gandhi. Every night when I sleep, I die. I was like, wait, what? Die? Why? And now I was curious to know what happens between the moment of dying and being reborn. So I pressed on. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, did you know that sleep has stages? Well, I didn't until I saw this. According to a few sources, including BaptistHealth.com, there are 4 stages in a sleep cycle. And this sleep cycle is divided into 2 types of sleep, which is the rapid eye movement sleep and the non-rapid eye movement sleep. Now, the first 3 stages in the sleep cycle are the non-rapid eye movement sleep. And stage 4, of course, is the rapid eye movement sleep. So let's get into the stages real quick. Stage 1. This is the first 5 to 10 minutes as you begin to fall asleep. Now here, you are most likely to feel sudden body twitches. If you've ever experienced this or had a feeling like you're about to fall off your bed, well, relax, you're fine. You're just experiencing what's called an hypnagogic jerk. This happens because your muscles are beginning to relax. And here, it is also called the light sleep because you're easily awoken too. And then stage 2. Here, your body temperature decreases. Your breathing begins to relax. And your neural activity as well drops. It's kind of like closing tabs or apps on your device so that it can function properly. And this prepares you for stage 3. Now, stage 3, in my opinion, is the most important stage in a sleep cycle because this is where most of the restorative work happens. It is called the deep sleep stage. This takes about 20 minutes in a sleep cycle. This is where your body begins to repair tissues, build bones, add muscles, refresh your immune system, and also it prepares you for the next day's work by building you up with energy. How cool is that? That even when you sleep, your body is taking good care of you. And that does it for the first 1, 2, 3 stages in a sleep cycle. And then stage 4. This is the rapid eye movement sleep. Named so because even though you're still sleeping, eyes are moving very fast beneath closed lids. This happens because your brain activity increases here. Here is where your dreamland adventures take place. Either it's sweet dreams or nightmares. This is where it happens. And your brain also does a cool thing. It begins to organize thoughts, file information, and even discard toxins that may have previously gathered. and voila, the end of the sleep cycle. And all of these take about 90 to 110 minutes to complete. And because medical doctors recommend that adults have at least 7 to 9 hours of sleep daily in order to benefit from this, it means you have to go round that cycle at least 5 times. So just in case you didn't know, like I didn't at first, there are 4 stages in the sleep cycle. And these stages are divided into 2, the rapid eye movement sleep and the non-rapid eye movement sleep. And all of these come together in beautiful harmony to give you a healthier and, more interesting life. I believe this is why Thomas Dekker once said, sleep is that golden chain that binds our body and our health together. The Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ayotola, for that adroit speech and for taking us through the different stages of sleep. Our speech title was The Stages of Sleep. Now we are moving on swiftly to the next speaker. We have 4 speakers for today. So you've heard just 1 speaker. The next speaker for today is another winner. She is Toastmaster Ruth Ijoma. You already met her. She anchored the fun segment we just had a few minutes ago. Toastmaster Ruth won the humorous speech contest at the division level. She will be evaluated by Toastmaster Gbemi Ayonsiji. Toastmaster Gbemi Ayonsiji is an audit consultant who joined Toastmaster in the year 2020. He enjoys reading and listening to music, most especially Asha song. Toastmaster Gbemi, please can you read out Toastmaster Ruth's objectives? Before that, let me just tell you our speech title, please. The title of Toastmaster Ruth's speech is Papa Sean. I know it will be something humorous as usual. So Toastmaster Gbemi, over to you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Okay, the Toastmaster Ruth will be giving a topic, a speech from the manual called Leadership Development Manual. The title, as you already heard, is Papa Sean. And the purpose of this speech is for Toastmaster Ruth the purpose of this project is for the member to clearly define how Toastmaster environs and mentoring, and visions mentoring, sorry for that. And the purpose of this speech is for the member to share some aspect of a previous experience as a protege. Over to you, Toastmaster Ruth.
A quick one. In this non-profit organization of ours, can you tell me that one person who is always there to review your speech, irrespective of how long it will take? If you know the answer, kindly put it out in the comment section below. Another one. Can you also tell me that one person who can easily spot hidden errors in your supposed well-crafted speech? Yes, the answer to my questions is a mentor. Well, not just any mentor, but my mentor. Dear Toastmasters, an ever-pleasant guest, who is a mentor? A mentor is an experienced member who gives guidance and support to mentees to enable them reach their goals. And who is a mentee? A mentee is you, a mentee is me. The most successful mentors today have been mentees at one particular point in time, and they often continue to work with mentors of their own till date. Understanding the role of a mentee is fundamental to being the best mentor in the world. And I make bold to state that my mentor is the best in the whole world. Prior to the beginning of my Toastmasters journey, I didn't really understand what it meant to have a mentor or be a mentee to a person. Well, that was before I met Papa Sean. My experience with Papa Sean made me understand and realize that successful mentoring relationships has to go through 4 stages. 1, acceptance. 2, preparation. 3, enabling growth. And the last one, closure. In 2019, I signed up for the humorous speech contest after receiving encouragement and lots of hype from the one and only Toastmaster Rotimi Omotayo Benti. I agreed without a sense of direction on how to go about it, considering the fact that I was just a few months old in Toastmaster. The mentor assigned to me that year had just put to bed, so I did not deem it fit to trouble her with my speech work, which came with its own headache. So one day, while constructing the perfect text for Toastmaster Rotimi, stating my intention to no longer participate in a contest, I got a timely salutation from Papa Sean, an endearing act he does often to check up on me as a good friend would. We exchanged pleasantries, and I told him of my intention to no longer participate in a contest because I felt I wasn't going to be able to do it. And I equally stated my challenge mentor-wise. Immediately, he asked for a draft of my speech. And I, in return, I laughed out loud because I hadn't even written a paragraph down in respect to the speech contest. I expected him to consider me unserious or nonchalant, which I actually was anyways. But he didn't. Instead, he said, "Ruth, you will participate in that contest. And you will not just participate, you will win." Me? Win contest? Okay. I laughed in this. Like Sarah, the one I was elated. I ran back to my self-acclaimed mentor, who commended me and told me areas to improve in order to win at the next level. I took his advice, went for the area contest, and I won. Then I was left with the final stage, the division level. I was tense, but he was always there, pouring ice water on my already hot head. While preparing, I told him I wanted to change my speech because I felt Toastmasters from other areas who listened to my speech recently might want to imitate it. But he smiled and said, "Not possible. And even if they wanted to imitate it, they should go ahead. That all I just needed to do was to modify my speech and make it better." I took his advice again. It took days for me to think of ways to modify my speech, but eventually I came up with something. The idea of wearing an outfit that can be detached easily on the spot. Toastmaster Ibuko brought life to my idea by sewing 3 different skirts, which I wore to the speech contest, and I emerged victorious. The impact and benefit of mentorship in Toastmasters cannot be overemphasized. Personally, I have gained practical advice, encouragement, support. I have learned from the experiences of others. I have increased my social confidence. I have also developed, never assume. Having a mentor like mine gives no room for lackadaisical attitude of any, especially from you as a mentee. And that's because his lifestyle alone would naturally keep you on your toes. Everyone who knows Papa Sean would attest to the fact that he's an adroit, eloquent, vocal, wonderful, and of course, a married speaker. Who am I talking about? He is no other than the current club growth director of Division F, my personal body of life, who would obviously tell me to change my ways after this speech delivery. He is Toastmaster John Onumia, one I fondly call Papa Sean, the Toastmaster.
Toastmaster Roots. Toastmaster Roots. Well done. That was a well delivered. And in fact, I didn't even know it was Toastmaster John you were referring to as Papa Sean. Because Papa Sean, Papa Sean, Papa Sean. And it's true, that speech was extremely humorous. I can't even remember. I can remember the last stage at the division contest when she took up the 3 skirts that she wore. Nobody expected it. She wore skirts. She took up the first one, took up the second one. I believe that was the icing on the cake. But that was a well-delivered speech, as usual. Now to the next speaker for today. Our next speaker for today is no other person than myself. While we evaluated by Toastmaster Juliet Okene, and Toastmaster Juliet Okene is a chartered accountant with over 20 years experience, post-qualification experience in banking, banking and the oil and gas sectors. She has vast competent corporate experience spanning finance, HR. She's the current head of compensation and benefits in her organization. She helps high potential individuals gain awareness, clarify their goals, achieve developmental objectives, and bridge the gap between their performance and potentials. Toastmaster Juliet, please read out my speech objectives to me. The title of my speech is Parental Lessons I've Learned.
Thank you, TM, the Toastmaster of the day, and you'll be delivering your project. And we all know that you are an adroit speaker. So you're going to mind today. But quickly, I'll just read out your speech objective. You'll be presenting from the innovative plan pathway, and your project is on level 3, and it's project 1. The purpose of your project is for you to practice developing and presenting a proposal. I expect an amazing presentation. Good luck to you.
While growing up as a kid, I never saw my parents argue. Let me say that again. The keyword, I never saw them argue. What you would hear them say is, check out what yara, which means let us go inside the room, the kids are here. And this can be corroborated with my brothers. It never even occurred to us until one day we were all gisting, we were all talking. And they said the same thing. All you hear is, which means the kids are here. Let us go inside the room. They used to settle their scuttle inside the room. That is one parental lesson I think I picked up from my parents. It's extremely important we always create an enabling environment for our children. An environment that is loving, that is fun, where they can make mistakes, that is not toxic. A good environment is the foundation for any child. Try and compare it to your office environment too. You wouldn't want to work in an office environment that is toxic, where people just keep arguing and they just shout on you anyhow. You would want to bring the same thing to your house. Create an environment that is loving. A good environment is the foundation that will set up a child's mindset. It will set up that child's value, how the child sees life generally. Because of my upbringing, cannot imagine a scenario whereby I would say I want to beat my wife because it never even occurred to me. So that was one lesson I learned from my parents. Another interesting one I learned is always focus on your kids. Try as much as possible to learn about your kids. Different children with different characters, with different traits. I remember when we were young, my elder brother came home from school one day, went to meet my parents. Daddy, mommy, was in GS3. I want to stop going to school. So what do you want to do? I want to be a shoemaker. My mother, typical African woman, who was a teacher then, say, hey, Omo teacher who Paris secondary school, which means, how would she say the son of a teacher did not complete secondary school education? But I think I love what my parents did. They sat down to understand him very well. And what they did was, they ensured that he completed his secondary school education. Then from there, they sent him to a school in the north to go and learn how to make shoes. From there, they had to send him abroad to one school in UK to go and also learn how to make shoes. My parents took their time to study us and understand each child. And my brother today makes shoes. Another critical thing about parenting that I have learned is it's important we build in our kids the way our kids, how they question things. We need to create an healthy way of them asking questions. You don't just talk down to them about anything. You need to always explain to them why they should do what they are doing. My daughter, for instance, if you leave her, she can sit down on the computer from 8 a.m. in the morning to 10 p.m. at night, watching the computer, playing games, watching different things on YouTube Kids. And according to my research, I found out that too much screen time could affect the child at her age. She's just 8 years old. So as an IT person, what I did was to set up screen time on her computer. You watch it for 2 to 3 hours, your computer locks automatically. Then you will have about 2 hours extra to go and do whatever you want to do. So you can go and do other things, play with other people, play games, play piano, or whatever it is you want to do. But trust kids, what do? Initially, she accepted. She would wait for the screen to lock, go and do other things, then come back to it again. But just because I've also tried to teach them that always question things, she now observed that I would sit down on my computer from morning to night. And she came to me, Daddy, how come you are always sitting down on your computer from morning to night? There is no screen lock in your system. But that's because I've told them that when somebody tells you to do something, you need to ask why, so that nobody will just come and tell you anything that doesn't make any sense. You need to question it. So I've built in them that spirit, that ability to always question things. Because at the same time, if you don't question things, they can be easily influenced from outside. So you need to understand that. As we all know, parenting is a generational problem. Parenting is in fact like a 20-year project, because we have just between when your child is about 0 to about 18 or 20 for you to be able to mold or do whatever you want to do with that child. So you need to take your time and do that. Now, my proposal to you today is very simple. In order to build values in our kids, to create the right environment, just try as much as possible to create the right environment for the kids. Teach them how to question things in a healthy way. Create time for them. It's extremely important to do all these things. But guess what? Even after doing all these things, just like in life, there is no guarantee that it will turn out. Just pray to God. So I tell you one more time, create an environment, create a healthy environment for them. Let them question things in a healthy way. You as a parent, pay attention to them and pray to God that everything goes fine. The Toastmasters. That's back to you. We are not clapping for me. I'm done. Okay, so that comes to the end of my speech. I would like to
TM Rotimi, you're on mute. I don't know if you're using me, but I can't read your lips.
Have I been on mute since?
Not since his speech. Since
No,
you started saying something.
no.
Since you went back to being Toastmaster. So I don't know.
Okay, fine. So our next speaker for today is Toastmaster Juliet Okene. I've written that her profile to you all. She'll be evaluated by Toastmaster Salih Mohammed. Toastmaster Salih is an engineer and a project manager. And he's the current president of Lighthouse Prestige Toastmasters. He loves playing football and influencing people positively. Toastmaster Salih, please read out Toastmaster Juliet's objectives to her. Thank you. I can't see Toastmaster Salih in the meeting room. Okay, it's there, it's there. Okay, I can see him. Toastmaster Salih. Oh, I think he's trying to join back. Toastmaster Queen, do you have his our objectives?
Yes, I can go ahead to read it. Okay. Toastmaster Juliet, your speech, your project objective. The purpose of this project is for
Hello, can you guys hear me?
Okay. Yes, we can, Salih.
Okay, I'm sorry, the network glitches have been affecting me. But you mind if I still take over?
Yeah, go ahead. I was just reading the objective.
It's okay. Thank you very much. Let me continue with reading the objective. The purpose of this project is for the member to learn about and practice
Okay, I'll just continue this. So the purpose of the project
the member is responsible for managing time, so there is adequate opportunity for both. Did you all hear me? Was I audible enough?
At some point, you lost your voice.
Yeah, at some point we lost you.
Okay. At some point, you lost your voice. Same Salih. At some point, you lost your voice, so
we didn't get the full purpose of the speech.
Same Salih, can you read it again? Because at some point we didn't hear you at all.
I think in this case,
yeah, I'll go ahead again.
Okay.
So the purpose of the project is for Toastmaster Juliet to learn about and practice facilitating a question and answer session. It's also for her to practice delivering an informative speech and running a well-organized question and answer session. She's responsible for managing time, so there is adequate opportunity for both the speaking section and the question and answer session. So, Toastmaster.
Team Queen, can you hear me?
Yes.
My audio has been wonky. Thank you.
Juliet, the stage is yours.
Thank you. Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and guests. In this mastermind, first of all, I'd like to welcome you. I am going to be talking about how your environment influences your growth. I will start by telling you a story about Wale was my security man for 3 years. Smart, bright young man with an addiction problem. He's addicted to India hemp. So one day, we didn't know he was smoking, but the compound used to smell of India hemp. And one day, I caught him in the act. Well, he explained the addiction problem, that he was initially taking heroin and has downgraded to India hemp. But the compound came together and decided to help Wale. So we sent him to the rehabilitation center at Yaba Psychiatric Hospital. For those who don't know, Yaba Psychiatric Hospital also has a rehabilitation arm for drug users. So we sent him there for 3 months. When Wale came back, he was looking amazing. His skin was fresh like that of a baby. He was more sane and more organized. He added a lot of weight and was looking sane like a regular human being. We were all excited. 3 months after his return from rehab, he started smoking again. And the reason is simple. He went back to hanging out with the same set of boys in the same place where they buy and smoke India hemp, and he fell into the habit. I'll tell you another story, this time about me. As an employee in my organization where I work, my friends naturally are employees like me. We have the same conversations. Oh, our bosses are wicked, our subordinates are mean, our friends are backstabbing people, and how the organization is not fair and the reward is not commensurate with our work. That is related, work-related arguments and conversations. Then some of us now transit to marriage. Our husbands are mean, our nannies are silly, and the conversation at work. But I wanted more. I wanted to be more, have more, do. I joined Toastmasters International, I joined Wimbies, and I joined the prestigious John Maxwell team. And I was opportune to meet with different people who had different agenda besides my colleagues and my friends at work. And this bettered my coaching practice and the person you see today. Now, what's the difference between I and Wale? First, we're both desirous of growth. We wanted to change, and the opportunity to change came. But the difference between the two of us is why I changed my environment and adopted new people, Wale retained his environment that encourages use of drugs. This brings me to the lesson I want us to learn today. You can grow if you don't change your environment, but growth is going to be very uphill. It's going to be very difficult. But if you change your environment, you can stay the same, or you can also grow, but you need both change of the environment and a change of yourself for growth to be sustainable, for it to be essential, and for it to be fast. You cannot retain the same environment. And people always ask me this question, like, what is environment? Environment is everything, anything that influences you. The books you read, the movies you watch, the people you hang around with, the memories you keep reminding yourself of, your thought process, your friends, your family, anything, anybody that influences you is your environment. So if you want to grow, you need to take a deliberate, intentional effort to change your environment. And that is where your growth will be possible, will be sustainable, and will be easy. So at this point, I expect you to ask questions because this is a lecture, and you can ask me any question relating to how you can grow and anything relating to your growth, and I will be here to answer. Thank you for taking time out. Yes, Donsi, you have a question.
Thank you very much, TM Juliet, for that wonderful speech. I can really resonate with what you just said. When it comes to change, sometimes people, because I'm also a coach, sometimes people struggle with knowing how to get into an environment that can encourage their growth. And also, it's sometimes difficult for them to let go of the old habits and the old environment. They struggle with being intentional with their decision because, first of all, when they make up their minds to embrace change, there's always this pull from the lifestyle that they are turning their back on. So my question is this: for someone who is an addict, like your gate man, you stepped in and you led him in the right direction. How would he have done it if he had decided to do it on his own? Because I don't know, let me not use the word I don't know, but I don't really think he would have thought of Yaba as a way of changing his habits. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Josie, for your question. If I understand, you're asking now how to make change easy if it is self-driven, if I understand what you mean.
Yes, first, if it is self-driven, and secondly, if the person is not informed about the way to go about it. Like I said, your gate man, I don't think would have thought of going to Yaba if he had decided to do it on his own.
So thanks for your question. So there are two components in that change: you making a decision, and two, you changing your environment, especially if your environment is an enabler. Enabling means the environment is helping you to continue in that wrong path. So if you don't change your environment, like I said, it's going to be like an uphill task trying to change. So if you don't change your environment, you don't decide to change will not work. Do you see? If you decide to change and don't change your environment, change will be difficult, even though it's possible. It's going to be slow and difficult. If you change your environment and you don't change yourself, change is also not going to work. So you need both components. You need to change your mindsets, your habits, and change your environment for that growth and that change to be exponential, for it to be sustainable. I don't know if I answer your question, Josie.
Yeah, thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for asking.
Back to you.
So
do we have any other question in the house? Yes, TM Queen.
So if the negative environment is, say, family members, how do you go about, and these are people that are, they are basically related by blood. How do you disengage without, in a safe way, without, I say, affecting the whole family, but still putting yourself and your growth priority?
Thank you for your question, TM Queen. If I understand what you mean, you're asking that if your environment is like a permanent type, your spouse, your children, your family, I mean, you're not going to cut them off. So I get that. So let me tell you what we do. If, for example, you have 10 members of your family, let's assume it's just 10, and these are enablers, what you now need to do is increase the number of the good people. So if you have 1,000 people helping you to grow versus 10 people holding you back, the 1,000 people, I'm just using 1,000, so you see the gap. The 1,000 people will more than influence the impact of the 10. It's just like I have colored water in this bottle. Let's assume it is here. If I keep pouring clean water, after a while, the color of the water will change. So you dilute the influence of these enablers by increasing the number of external positive people in your life. So that's what I did. I didn't cut off my colleagues at work. They're still my friends, but I have more friends from Toastmasters, more friends from John Maxwell team, more friends from Wimbies and all other places I belong to. So automatically, I have less influence from my friends at work. I don't know if I answered your question, Tim Queen.
Yes, you did. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any other question in the house? Oh, TM Abubakar Gimba, please go ahead.
Yes, please. Thank you so much for this presentation and for the stories. I believe the main message of your speech is change your environment and growth comes easily. If you don't change your environment, your growth might stall. Now, my question to you doesn't really have much to do with the environment. It has to do with the self. I know there are two types of mind. There's a growth mindset and there's a fixed mindset. For instance, I happen to have a fixed mindset, right? And I've realized that there's an option for me to actually change. Just how do I switch? Like I feel like it's easier said than done. So if you could tell me how you can change your mind, like what can you do for your own self to actually decide that, okay, I want to change and actually change it?
Thank you so much, Tim. If I understand your question, you're talking about people who have been able to change their environment and are willing to change, but themselves or their minds is now like the stumbling block, if I think I understand what you're saying. So how can they get that push and that drive to change? So the first thing I tell people is, what is your why? TM Gimba, the question is, why do you want more? Why do you want to be more? Why do you want to change? Why do you want to stop being a drug addict? Why do you want to be a mom? Why do you want to have money? Why? If you have a strong why, trust me, you will not sleep until you get. So the basic thing is go back and see if your why is strong enough. If it is not strong enough, go back. But if your why is strong, you don't need external stimulants. Even in that old environment, you can change if your why is very strong. For example, say your child's life depends on it and is an only child. You don't need to change the environment for you to push forward if you love that child. So that's one of the powers of a strong why. Another thing you could do is you could have a mentor. A mentor is somebody that has achieved the feat you want to achieve, somebody that has been where you want to go to. If you can have a mentor, the mentor can show you the ropes and cut off all the, give you like some form of shortcut and show you how he or she did it on that journey and say, oh, this is what I did, this is what I did. So that's another way. But the main reasons I tell people is have a very strong why and you will be motivated to change. Thank you, Tim Abubakar. Tim Rotimi, please.
Okay, Tim, Juliet, thank you. So how do you know your why?
So there are many ways of knowing your why. So the why is a big question. So thank you for that question, Tim Rotimi. The why is a big question. So the why is that why. I know the why you're talking about, but let me come to the why of a change. Let's come to the why of a change first. There's a bigger why you exist and all of that. But if you want to change your status quo, there has to be a reason. If there's nothing wrong with being a drug addict, why do you want to stop being a drug addict? If there's nothing wrong with poverty, why do you want to stop being poor? If there's nothing wrong with you being a cheat, a lazy person, an obese person, a sick person, why do you want to change? So if you want to change, it already tells me you have a reason for that change. So my reason for growth or my reason for change might be different from yours. I know why I want more, why I want to do more, be more, and have more. What is yours? So if somebody comes to me with that goal and says, I want to have this, I want to do this, the question I ask is why? Because that why is what I use to motivate you. So back to your question, Tim Rotimi. If you want to move from here to here, trust me, there has to be a reason. So the question is back at you is, why do you want to do that? TM Rotimi, are we good? Thank you. Thank you. TM Dumpsey, I think I can take one more question.
Yeah, thank you very much, TM Juliet, for this. My question goes this way. We've talked about when you have to change environment, when your challenge is permanent, and now how to know the why. Mine now is this. In the struggle to change, I think most times our biggest challenge is the voice in our head. And this is a build-up of things most times people have told us over the years, like a teacher saying you can never amount to anything, or an ideology in a family that people in the family can never achieve this or that. That is a big struggle for so many people to overcome, such that even if you put them in the best of environments, surround them with all the mentors, they have their personal board of directors and everything, he still has to deal with that voice in his head. How can you encourage someone or advise someone who has this issue of dealing with the voice in the head? Thank you.
Thank you, TM Dumpsey, for your question. I believe you're talking about the mindset and the belief system, if I am correct. Can you please clarify?
Yes.
Thank you. So that's a very foundational question, because most of the things we become, that we are, that we do, that we say, that we think, is based off of our mindset, and our mindset is influenced by our upbringing. The things we have seen growing up, the things we have heard growing up, and they all have shaped what we are today. So that's a very big question, because I'm 40, I've had 40 years of this voice in my head saying, I can't do it, I can't be this, or I am not this. So how do you break that? So now the starting point in breaking that, Donsi, is to have information. I give an example. If you say Nigeria is poor, it's a mindset. So people just, you can never make it in Nigeria. You have to be abroad to make it. If you can show me one person in Nigeria that has broken that rule, that has made it, it tells me that it's not a law, I can be on this side. It affects my belief system. It means that my belief system is flawed. So for example, you have this one that when I bought my car as a single girl, people went like, oh, if you have a car and you're single, you will not get married. I got that as well. That's a belief system that men are afraid of rich, successful women. But I found two women who I knew who were more successful. I was listening to Tokumbo car. They were using brand new polo cars in that time, and both of them got married. So since I could find two people who broke that norm, it is now not science, it's not fact. It's a perception, it's an opinion. So what I teach people about mindset is, if you can find one exception to the rule of what you have been brought up with, it is a stronghold or a foundation for you to believe that it is possible to be the other way. I don't have to explain it more. I don't know if I can explain it more. So if do you get my point? I don't know if I can.
Loud and clear, I did.
So if, for example, there's a mindset that Igbos are thieves, that's not a good example, let me use it. If I can find one honest Igbo, it means that that theory, that mindset is not fact. It is somebody's opinion. Then it will change the way I see Igbos. That I just had to look for an example.
Okay, thank you very much. So that means we're dealing with the theory of fallacy and generalization.
Yes. Yes. Thank you,
okay,
Dulce.
Thank
Even
you.
I know you know the answers, but thank you for making me talk and thank you for participating. Now, so if you have any more questions, I am willing to take it. This is what I do for a living. I will say type it in the comment section or send me a chat. My number is on the group chat for Lighthouse Prestige. Send me a message and I am willing to answer. The ones I cannot answer, I'll get in touch with Dulce to help me. Thank you so much for being part of this masterclass. Over to you, the Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Juliet, for that wonderful session, for that adroit session. So moving on quickly, our time is really fast spent. We need to move fast. So I'd like to call for votes. Please, Sergeant at Arms, please, can you throw up the polls? Let us vote for the best speaker before we call the evaluators to evaluate the speakers. So the first evaluator should please get ready, and that will be Toastmaster Joy Cheyenne. Please kindly get ready. You will be evaluating Toastmaster Ayotola immediately after the vote. Toastmaster Bemi, are we ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, please can you throw up the polls? Let's vote for the best speaker.
It's up already.
Okay, I can't see any poll. Can anybody see the polls?
The polls are up.
Okay, they're up now. This is a wrong poll, Mr. Okay, sorry. Speaker. Are the polls up, or is it my screen?
Yes, the polls are up actually, and they're about to be closed.
Oh.
Yeah, the polls are up.
Oh, okay, that means from my end then, never mind.
The polls are over.
Wow, it didn't pop up for me, but that's fine.
Even if it did, I don't think you can vote because you are the host or something.
Oh, maybe that's why, because I was wondering. Okay, that's fine, Okay, so I'd like to call on Toastmaster Joy to please evaluate Toastmaster Ayotola.
Good afternoon, Toastmasters and guests. Good afternoon, Toastmaster Ayotola. I like the color of your hair. That was a wonderful speech, and it was very comforting to see that you took feedback from your first speech. So the 2 points I noted from the feedback you had earlier received was that you needed to make your opening stronger and then include some kind of summary before you closed out on your speech, and you did that beautifully. I enjoyed your vocal variety and your role playing. Your voice was very clear and it was very easy for us to follow what you were talking about. It was also a very informative and educative speech because I learned some new things about sleep, and hopefully I think some other people did. Your voice was crisp, and you summarized beautifully. What would I have loved to see you do? To be honest, there's very little to pick on unless I just want to be touchy, but I just thought that you could work more on the opening. The opening could be just a tad bit stronger, something more interesting, something that gets people attention. Apart from the opening, I think you did everything beautifully well and you incorporated the feedback from your first speech. So I look forward to listening to you or maybe competing alongside you sometime in the future. Well done.
Thank you.
Toastmaster Joy, that would be a tough competition. But it will be interesting. It will be very interesting. Okay, so let's move on swiftly. The next evaluator is Toastmaster Gbemi Ayanshiji. We'll be evaluating Toastmaster Ruth. Toastmaster Gbemi, please go ahead.
All right. Thank you, Toastmaster Ruth. Well done, Team Ruth, for a wonderful speech. It is always an interesting moment to always listen to you. You're one of the people I look up to. Okay. To start with, you started well with a great opening. You try and engage us by asking a question that requires an action from us to type in this section. Although I didn't see anybody responding, but it is a great way to start. In a way, you're carrying your audience along to go along with you, your speech. That's a great way to start a speech. Also, I love the fact that you use your gesticulation a lot. Like I like the way you control the stage. Like you make sure you touch everywhere. Okay. Another thing I enjoyed most is okay. Sorry, I'm trying to. Okay. You define at the start of your speech. You define what a mentor and a mentee is. That's a look like for some person is like you're like telling us okay what your project is all about and also that's a great way. Also you use the vocabulary like there's no doubt about that, right? You're a veteran speaker, so the way you showed your happiness, your change of mood, even when you're even calling the attention of your mentor. So that way that's it. That's no said about that. Also, I like the fact that okay you take us to the story like how you become victorious in the speech contest, which is a good way also. You make sure that okay at the end of the speech and you ended well. So that's a great speech, no doubt about that. But really, I find it hard to find something you could have done better, except if I just want to just for purpose of picking up something. But ideally, as a veteran speaker, I was expecting more from me in terms of okay, like I said, you gesticulated a lot, but at a point it was all over the places. I think you should do it with more purpose in a way. I don't know if that should be achieved. So another thing I feel you should have done, okay, at the end of it, I don't know, at the point my network, I don't know if my network or yours, I didn't get the summary of your speech very well. So on alone, you gave a nice speech. There's no doubt about that. You achieved the purpose of the project, which is to share a previous experience about being a protege. So that's basically it. Thank you very much. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Okay, Toastmaster Gbemi, thank you for that apt evaluation. I'll move on to the next evaluator, and that would be Toastmaster Juliet. She'll be evaluating myself, Toastmaster Rotimi.
Thank you, Toastmaster. I see you. Give yourself a round of applause or pat yourself on the back. That was a great speech. You started off with a story, and that quickly piqued my interest. So I was listening, and that's a very good way to start a project. And you talked about lessons. I mean, lessons you have learned from your parents that has made you the man you are today with regards to domestic violence. So you don't practice domestic violence, which is very, very commendable. And you added humor to your speech. It made it very, very interesting. I love that part where you added the humor. You talked about, I mean, there were so many stories. Your speech was laced with stories and vocal variety. So this made it very interesting and not boring in any way. I love the call to action part. My network is wonky. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me? Awesome. I like the call to action part where you basically summarize the lessons of your speech and you employ the audience to build values in their children and create a right environment for them to blossom and for them to be able to ask questions that will influence who they become. I loved all of that because it was very practicable. Now, what would that challenge you to do differently in future projects? I would, if I can request, I would suggest that you put in more facial expression that depicts emotion, maybe more emotions of joy, emotions of shock, emotions of surprise, because there were points in your story where your face was the same, even though I thought it was very funny, or I thought it was an emotional part of that story that you could have showed some more emotions. If you can do that with your face, it will be very, very nice.
I can't hear you. Was it my network?
Overall, you are an adroit speaker. I did not expect less. I learned a lot about parenting and the parenting style from your speech and for your project. And I can confidently say you have met in your material.
Thank you, Toastmaster Juliet.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Did you hear the end of the evaluation? Did you hear the end of the evaluation?
I didn't hear the end. Please can you say that again? The last statement, I didn't hear the last statement.
So what I said was, I'll have to say it again if you can hear me now. I was using my phone as the Wi-Fi, so a call came in, I'm sorry. I said, overall, I did not expect anything less from you. You are an adroit speaker and you're good. And I learned a lot from your speech on your parenting style and how I can be a better parent to my kids. And you have met the objective of your project. So well done.
Okay, thank you, Toastmaster Juliet. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Moving on to the last evaluator, and that will be Toastmaster Salif. I know it was in and out. Toastmaster Salif, are you in now?
Yes, but can Toastmaster Queen handle this?
Yeah, I can
Okay, that's fine.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Well done, Toastmaster Juliet. That was a very brilliant session and indeed a masterclass, like you said, on growth and our environment to grow. I think you did a brilliant and adroit job as a facilitator. Your use of stories at the beginning, again, drew us in, and you shared a story of a security person. And I think it illustrated the message that your speech was about, growth and environment. And the fact that you also used the personal story also showed a lot of vulnerability. If we were your coaches, it would be something that would make us feel very comfortable sharing our problems with you, because you've shown us that you also are not perfect and that you are not judgmental, because you also have your, you've been in the similar situation where you're also trying to grow and you need to change your environment. I think you did a phenomenal job with the question and answer session. You gave ample time for that aspect of your project, but I think that it also came at the cost of a good transition from your stories to your question and answer session. I feel like the transition could have been better. Probably, maybe you could have shared more tips on growth and environment that would have spurred the audience to ask questions, more questions. But still, the questions came, and you attracted a fellow coachee, a fellow coach to also ask questions, which at some point there's some technical jargon in between the coaches, I guess, that we laymen could not relate to. I think there's something about fallacy and yeah. But still, I think you handled the questions very well. Sometimes even involve them throwing the question back to the to the asker, like the question of why that Toastmaster wrote to me asked. And I think you did a great job in terms of thanking people for participating, for asking questions, and also rephrasing the questions, because people can ask questions and you may be answering the wrong question, but you took your time to rephrase it and to ensure that you were answering the right questions, or you were understanding their questions. That was very outstanding. Again, for your speech to be better, I feel the transition in between could have been clearer, or the speech could have taken some time to share more, some more time to share more information on growth for the layman to understand as well. But still, the story use was great. The time you gave for the session was great, and I think we even wanted more, but because of time, we had to close it. But great use of time, great facilitation skills, and we look forward to more coaching sessions. Hold on.
Okay, thank you, Toastmaster Queen, for that evaluation. And I really enjoyed Toastmaster Julia's session. It was a master class. Now, moving on, please, can we have the polls for the evaluators? Wow.
Yes, sir. The polls are up. Unfortunately, Toastmaster Joy spoke below time, so she's been disqualified for voting.
Okay, that's fine. So we need to vote. I can't see the polls. This is not good enough.
You know, the people at the top, they don't really need to see what the dirty workers do at the bottom.
Toastmaster Gimba. Just please let me know when you are done, so that Toastmaster Kachi can come on and work with her team. But evaluation is quite interesting. I remember my first evaluation. I didn't speak for up to 30 seconds. But Toastmaster is really a place where you learn to grow. It's just a matter of participating. That's just all you need. Just participate. Every day you play a role, no matter how small or insignificant I think the role is, it helps you to overcome that fear of public speaking, no matter how small, I repeat, it is. You conquer something every day.
The polls are up. The polls are done.
Okay, thank you, Toastmaster Gimba. So Toastmaster Kachi, please, can you come on board to introduce your team again?
Okay, thank you for bringing me back. So for evaluation, I'm bringing up my team. First of all, I'm bringing up the grammarian, TM Korede. Please, can you come up and give us a rundown of what our grammar was like today? TM Korede. Is he around?
He's around, shit. And your speaker is, your mic is on.
Sorry. Oh my goodness. I apologize, please.
I forgive you. It's fine. It's fine.
Thank you so much for your generosity.
Thank you. It's fine.
Okay.
I was also talking and I was on mute. Well done to everyone. I think we've had such a great day. From my side, I think the work was very greatly reduced. In terms of the word of the day, adroit, I believe many of us used it, and I think that went very well. I also noticed some competition at some point in time, because TM Rotime was worried that TM John was using the words quite well, and in almost every 1 minute he was speaking. Generally, I think it was a good day in terms of the usage of the word. In terms of improper grammar, I picked one, and I actually picked it up on the chat. It said that was done with pure adroit, and I'm sure we would rephrase better next time on that. In terms of the quotes I heard that actually blew me away, I think I would like to thank TM Ayola Rewaju for saying sleep. I mean, she quoted it from someone. She said, sleep is that golden chain that binds our body and our health. The second one also really, really blew me away. It says, every night when I sleep, I die. And when I wake up, I'm reborn. They had such a very great impact on me. And I believe on all of us. Thank you.
Oh, okay, thank you. Okay, thank you very much, TM Kurade. TM Rotimi said something about how Toastmasters help you evolve. This is my first time I'm playing the role of a general evaluator. And I've actually been thinking in my head, how am I going to do this? So you bailed me out. If it's short, that's because it's my first time. So at this moment, I'm calling up TM Timothy, who is our listening evaluator and the R counter, to give us a rundown of how today's speeches have gone through. TM Timothy, please.
Okay, thank you, General Evaluator. Yeah, I'm going to start with the R counter. TM Queen and TM Joy said R1s. TM Lawrence and TM Rotimi said it twice. Then TM Bimi said it 8 times. So what do we say to him? Please don't do it again. Okay, so going to the listening evaluation. So I have some questions here, and I would want you to answer those questions. The number one question is, who said peace is one of the most phenomenal things in a relationship?
Agogo.
Okay, that's correct. Second question, who was TM Roots referring to as Papa Sean?
TM John.
Correct. Who said you have to teach your children how to ask questions?
TM Rotimi.
Rotimi.
That's correct. Who amongst the speakers doesn't have a favorite color?
Toastmaster John.
John.
Okay, that's correct. Who was an addict of smoking?
Toastmaster Juliet Gateman Wale.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, thank you all for your time and answering the question. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you very much, TM Timothy, for that. The quiz was an interesting one. So now I'm calling up on TM Thomas, please, can you mute yourself? Thank you. So now I'm calling up on TM Abubakar, who is our timekeeper, to tell us how each speaker has managed their time and how the whole program for the day has been managed time-wise. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Madam General Evaluator. I'll just do a quick rundown of the participants today. Toastmaster John spoke for 2 minutes, 10 seconds. Guest Agogo spoke for 1 minute, 18 seconds. Toastmaster Ayo spoke for 5 minutes, 3 seconds. Toastmaster Ruth spoke for 6 minutes, 10 seconds. Toastmaster Rotimi spoke for 6 minutes, 52 seconds. Toastmaster Juliet spoke for 18 minutes. Toastmaster Joy spoke for 1 minute, 51 seconds. Toastmaster Bemi spoke for 2 minutes, 36 seconds. Toastmaster Juliet spoke for 2 minutes, 10 seconds for evaluation. Then Toastmaster Queen spoke for 2 minutes, 44 seconds. Toastmaster Joy was disqualified because she spoke for less than 2 minutes I just wanted to quickly reiterate here, evaluations are 2 to 3 minutes, minimum of 2 minutes at a maximum of 3 minutes, and then you have a 30 seconds grace. The reason why we try to be consistent is because of context, so that you can get familiar with the timing rules. Generally, we didn't do well with time. We started on time, unfortunately, but during the course of the meeting, we sort of had a bit of extra timings on the way things are supposed to go. So I would urge us next time to try as much as possible to be swift so that we can end on time. It's already 7 minutes past our time. So I will shut up now so that we can go ahead with the meeting, but subsequently we should try as much as possible to be swift. So the general evaluator.
Thank you very much, distinguished Toastmasters Abubakar. That was a very good evaluation. So today's program had gone very well. I really would love if we can adopt the habit of switching on our cameras when we are having this program, because it encourages the speakers. Also, I would like to thank, I appreciate the fact that it started early, but like Toastmasters Abubakar said, we should learn to manage our timing very well. I really did enjoy the break time. I didn't win the tongue twisting, but yes, it was a good time to let the break time pass by. So these are some of my observations. The evaluators have done justice to every other thing. So at this point, I'll be handing over to Toastmasters Rotimi to conclude.
Thank you, Toastmaster Kachi, Toastmaster Kachi and your team for your evaluation of the meeting and the different roles you all played in the meeting. I'll move on quickly to announce the winners for today's meeting. And the first winner I'll be announcing is Best Table Topics Speaker. And that award goes to Toastmaster John Onumia. Please, can we jump or can we use the emotions, the emojis there? Please, Toastmaster John. Toastmaster Ruth, don't worry, you can accept on his behalf.
Yes, definitely.
Quickly, we move on to the next. The best speaker for today. No, I'll start with the evaluation. The best evaluator for today is Toastmaster Juliet Okene. Toastmaster Juliet Okene is the best evaluator for today, and I'll go right straight. She's also the best speaker for today. So Toastmaster Juliet, well done. Best speaker for today, best evaluator for today. Thank you, Toastmaster Ruth, for that. And I would like to hand over control of the meeting now to Toastmaster Salif. He's the president of Lighthouse Prestige Toastmasters. Like we all know, our time is really fast spent, so we need to quickly move on. So Toastmaster Salif, are you there, please?
Okay. Thank you so much. Please confirm you can hear me.
Yes, we can.
My network has been very bad.
We can hear you.
The environment where I cannot switch to another network, so I have to make do with what I have. First off, because the time is fast spent, it's been a very great meeting today. I've been catching snippets of it when the network allows, and it's been wonderful. If you enjoyed this meeting as much as I did, a round of applause to all the role players, the speakers, the evaluators, and to you all, the great audience. To everyone, it's been a wonderful meeting. Thank you so much. Please, our esteemed guests, kindly go to the chat box. There's a link there for you to put your names, your addresses, all the relevant information that we would need to get in touch with you again because we really want to. So go to the chat box. You will get a link that you can put in your information. So before I go to the introduction of our wonderful guests, I'd like to commend the winners of the recently concluded Division F contest. It's been very, very great. Excuse me. Sorry, excuse the break in transmission. So I'd like of the division contest, international and evaluation contest. Indeed, Lighthouse and Lighthouse Prestige Toastmasters Club is a great club. We walk our talk. We live on the edge, always. That's why when we go out there, we give always a good showing. Congratulations to you all. This is for our esteemed guests. This is a clear indication that we are not joking here. You can see that from the array of speakers that came to speak today. You would know that speaking is in our DNA. Congratulations once again to all the contestants that came back with a trophy and all of you that represented us. Thank you so much for a job well done. Now, our esteemed guests, could you unmute one after the other and tell us who you are, how you came to the meeting, who invited you, what you do, how has the meeting been for you? Because we would like to get back to you again. So who's starting first? Our esteemed guests.
Okay, I'm going to go first.
Thank you, Damilare.
My name is Damilare. It's something like an old guest. That's what I'm going to be actually. Because I've been attending as a guest for a long time now, and I learned about Toastmasters online. I was just doing some research about public speaking, and I came across this. I attended the meetings that when we were gathering physically, and when we started doing meetings remotely. I mean, it's always very impactful as usual, and I'm looking forward to becoming a full member today.
Thank you, Damilare. It's always our pleasure having you, and I can't wait to have you as a member. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
Who's next? Is Agogo still around? Did I get the pronunciation rightly? Agogo. Ahoko. Is Agogo still on call? Unfortunately, she has logged off. In this meeting, Agogo is my hero. It's not easy to contend with a veteran Toastmaster in the table topics. I wish she was here. I would tell her she's my hero. Do we have another guest?
Yeah, good morning or good afternoon, everybody. Sorry. My name is Ifeoluwa, and I work with a financial institution. I'm currently based in Lomé, and I heard about this from a friend who encouraged me to join because we had a discussion on public speaking, and I told him how I dread, speaking in the public, especially when I'm faced with a lot of people, an audience. So he encouraged me to join Toastmasters, and here I am, my first time here. So thank you.
Thank you for coming. You are at the right place. This is where we put the fear of public speaking in the dustbin of history. you are simply at the right place. Keep coming and make sure you plan to join. Then thank me later. Welcome. Who else is on call? Do we have another guest on call? Can you hear me, or has my network gone off again? Can you all hear me?
We can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Okay, who
Hello?
else? Yes, yes.
Yes, my name.
Yes, we
yes,
can, Abiola.
Yes, my name is Abiola Ogusanwo. I'm very much happy for what you guys are doing. I'm very happy about it. I was asked to join this event by the in the name of Omotayo Benson Luarutimi, and I'm very happy. I've learned a lot, and I want to continue. Thank you.
Thank you for coming, Abiola. It's a good thing. Make that choice to continue to be in this meeting and make the choice to join, and you will be happier for it. Thank you for coming.
Thank you very much.
Who else is on call? Any lovely guest on call? Is Ngozi here? Is Ngozi a guest? Is Ngozi a guest? We would like to meet you if you are. The time is fast spent. Our esteemed guests, do well to check the chat box and click the link and put in your details so we can get back to you as soon as possible. We would like to speak to you again. Thank you all for coming. It's been a wonderful meeting. We will convene again on the 8th of May, 2021. But before then, I would like to remind us that for some of us that have not renewed our membership, do well to renew. It is the best way. Consistency is the best way to master anything that you set your hand to do. Let's renew and continue in this wonderful journey of being good speakers and good leaders. Thank you so much. By the power bestowed on me as the president of Lighthouse Prestige Toastmasters Club, I would like to bring this meeting to a stop until we reconvene again on the 8th of May, 2021. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you to all the guests. Thank you to the president of KIDE Toastmasters. Thank you, TM John Onuminya, for your presence. Thank you all. Have a great weekend, and please still play safe. COVID-19 is not a hoax. It's still here. Let's make it part of history. Thank you so much. Have a great weekend.
Bye.